Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to Pieces That Pat Paints. I am Pat with the floofy hair today. It's looking all pretty, like Wolfmanish. Anyway, I'm probably about to cut it off. It's getting a little long, even for me. I kind of like having it long now that I'm out of the... Hello, Butt. Did you want to come say hi to everybody today? Sometimes he likes to come say hi. Hello, buddy. Hello, buddy. Say hello to all the nice people. Yeah, no, you just want scritches. You just want scritches. I should have known. I should have known. I'm going to purr for everybody. So anyway, today we are going to pet a cat, apparently. And then hopefully here in a second we're going to get started on this this amazing miniature that we were working on. He's a great statue. He's a lot of fun. You say hi, everybody. Let me say hi. You know, Butt say hi. So anyway, we were working on the head yesterday. We got a lot going. Yeah, you're stuck in my shirt, buddy. There we go. All right, you done? You're gonna go up there and go around. Okay. Well, that was exciting. That's the fun of working at home, right? You get to hang out with your pets a little bit more, which is kind of fun and kind of nice. So I kind of like it better than hanging out in a hot kitchen sweating. Which again, like I said, it's why I get to grow my hair out now. Is because I no longer work in the kitchen. So you know, there's that. It's pretty cool. Well, thanks for coming by. We're going to get started. I'm not going to bore you anymore or make you stare at my bushy beard and long hair. And we're going to get on to other things. So let's pull ourselves over back where we were before I move this. So yesterday we were working on our guy's head, or his face in particular. So we got a really good looking face. I'm pretty happy with it. We're going to bring this work up into the rest of this today, which is great. It's dry now. It should be easy. We've got to go ahead and take care of this section right here where that cloak needs to be painted back in. We've got to fix this where we got a little bit of silver on it. Check all these other places. Make sure everything looks the way we want it to look and is all up to snuff. And then we're going to move on to messing with that lion that's going to go on top of him. As well as, well, we might go ahead and do parts of his arms. I'm either going to have to print or sculpt that other piece, and I haven't decided which yet. So we shall see what is going on with that. I'm going to start some music, and we're going to get rocking and rolling. Shall I just start the music at the beginning of the show and just talk over it? Yeah. Thank you, sir. Yeah, he is looking absolutely amazing. Really, really happy with it. This is still not attached, so we're just going to take that off. And slowly pull that head back out. And we got a little bit of scratching going on from probably just wear and tear of us moving around with this model. I did see just a little piece right here that probably needs to be pulled off, where the mill put didn't quite sit right or set up right for us, which is kind of the nature of things. So So we're going to take that out real quick. And we'll... There you go. We'll repaint that. Just real careful. Real sharp X-Acto knife too. Okay. And that's that gap we're trying to fill that we wanted it to look. Didn't want it to look like just a crack. And you can see how that mill put will, it works great. It's a real great sculpting material to use. I use green stuff too, but green stuff acts a little differently than this stuff. This stuff's sandable. Green stuff, I find when you sand it, it just tears up your file or your sander or paper or whatever you're sanding on, and doesn't really go anywhere. Oh, hairs and stuff. I'm trying to make sure pull that off of there. Okay, now get our palette out. Our palette and our paints and all our paint brushes. Put our knife away. We'll give you the play-by-play as we go here. Let's see. Actually, I think I already have the brush I need for this out. 4/0. Put that guy over there. Get this over. And ignore those 3 paints up at the top. I've been painting Tyranids again. I'm trying to get ready for to maybe go play some Warhammer. I feel like if I started playing, maybe I could get some more folks watching the show, or maybe some more folks buying stuff from the studio, commissioning, things like that. Glad to know my chat's still working. Thanks, Dave, for hollering at me. Really appreciate that. It's kind of weird, just like how much like pressure you get taken off when you know things are working properly like that. It's kind of weird, but it does work. Probably go with a bigger brush right here in this section, but I'll try darken up this right here behind where his hair is going to be sitting. And I was looking at him, and this guy doesn't really have long hair. I guess. I don't know. It's really hard to tell. Because, like, I mean, I guess it's kind of long. But then, like, in that, you don't really... You can't really tell. It's so weird. It's hard to find exactly what I'm, you know... That's the nature of these video game models, because they're all moving. Like I've said that before, they're all moving so dang fast in the games. You can't really get a good bead on what you're actually looking at. So... That should be... I guess we can come out a little further, huh? Ooh, I shouldn't throw it down like that. I'm scratching it. Doob, 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 doob. Okay. And it's just a mix of our Payne's gray and a little bit of white, like we did when we did the cloak originally. And we'll come back and we'll put that other blue down on top once we've got all these little blemishes figured out. Of which there are many, apparently. Actually, just maybe a flaw from when I painted it the first time. I don't think that's from anything we did. Some of that is definitely probably just misses. Which is why it's always good to kind of come back through your stuff, really. Gives you that chance to adjust anything you might feel like got messed up. Okay. It was. I felt like I did with Quillian. I think that's right. Only a tiny, tiny bit of it. That should probably be part of the pen. That's part of the sash, though, or the cloak. Alright. Now that's nice and hidden. We'll do a little gold for his brooch. Or his cloak pin. Some people would get offended by the word brooch because, you know, it has some female connotations now, but whatever. If you get offended by little things like that, man, you're gonna be mad at yourself all. You're gonna be mad all day. That's not good for you when you live your life like that. We can get that little bit of overpaint off there real quick. Yep, beautiful. Okay, so now we got that done. Baby steps, you know. Alright. Very excited about that. Right, that's part done. I think I'm going to go ahead and not worry about this, but I really do think that's not what we need. This is what we need. I really am starting to think we need to mill put in that piece. I feel like we're gonna, I feel like it's gonna be noticeable that it's not done right. Ugh. It's just such a minor little flaw. Anyway, that's why. Another reason why I haven't glued this guy in yet is because we really need to. We need to get that mill put in there. Cut out of there. Oh. Okay. So let's mix this mill put up real quick. You need like the tiniest bit of it. It's just that one little section. Everything else you can't tell. But that one spot we can tell. We can tell. I'm just trying to get a little tiny scale and like weigh it out. See, make sure it's exact. Well, hello, Jared. How are you, sir? Look at this great head we painted yesterday. Yeah, pretty good stuff. Looking magnificent. All right, so back to mix and then mill put yet again, because we spend a lot of our time in our life doing this. Mix and mill put. While I'm at it, I see a little silhouette of a man. Alright. Doing okay. Saw the replay from yesterday. Looking awesome. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it's a really... Yeah, that face was so easy and fun to paint that it just made it kind of a joy to do it. Doesn't always go that way, but to this one it was. Alright, now. Alright. Now that that's down and in there, up we go just a little bit more. Okay. Now today, I'm choosing to leave him in his stand so I can kind of roll it around a little bit. A lot of times I'll take them out of these stands so that they don't get damaged. But this base is so sturdy, I think we're going to be just fine. Now we gotta switch over to the skewer. I got just a little bit of dampness on that. Just need a little bit of water, and that's gonna help us kind of smooth it out as we go. I was watching a video yesterday about what Squidmar is going to enter the Golden Demon. That's really cool. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Golden Demon is like the creme de la creme of painting competitions for miniatures and stuff like that. It's one of the top. It's specifically Warhammer, but if you're able to win a Golden Demon, then you're going to kind of remember it everywhere for a while. Especially if there's an award called a Slayer Sword. That's really cool. So one of these years, I think I'm going to try to get good enough to enter Golden Demon, which would be super cool. Just kind of slowly coming across this and just reconnecting that hair all the way to the bottom. It requires a little bit of sculpting knowledge, but not like a terrible much. You could probably do this if you'd never sculpted before, and you'd be okay. And even if you just made it flat and painted it to look like the rest of the hair, you'd probably be able to get away with that, and it'd be just fine. Especially like right here where we know that it's going to start getting obscured by those arms from the lion guy. Who has a name that I've already forgotten. Alright. Pretty good there. Definitely not going to stress this very back bit. Oh, maybe I should. Maybe just probably a little bit more. I was hoping I was going to have some extra. I did not. I like amazingly mixed just as much as I needed. That never happens. Ever. That's not real. I always make too much. So, except for this one time. This one time today, I didn't make enough. I need like just a smidge, like a tiny smidgen more. The good thing is this is really, there's not a lot to this, so it should dry pretty quickly. We should be able to get right back on it. And is this where the Sun Bros hang out? Alright. Welcome back, Mr. Nick Beardsley. So I decided to go ahead and do some sculpting on this hair in the back. It just didn't look right, so, well, the side and the back. I've been fussing over it for days, and I finally made a choice. And the choice is we're 100%ing. We don't mess around. We don't mess around on her. Now, like I said, you can buy all sorts of fancy sculpting tools, guys. That's fine. They make some really cool stuff. But I spent a lot of my career in kitchens, so I got so used to using things like skewers that, like, I'm almost as good with a skewer as I am with a fancy tool. There are definitely places where it met up better than others. That's kind of typical, though. Any big plans this weekend? Let's see. You know, we got indoor soccer for my youngest. I think we're getting ready to head out to Whitewater, or whatever they call it now, Hurricane Harbor, here today, sometime after the show. I gotta wait on another one of my medicines to come in, and for them to say I can go get them, so I can go pick that up. Because without my medicine, I will suffocate and die. That's not funny. I shouldn't laugh at my own possible demise. Whatever they want to call it, it's always going to be, well, yeah. It's something else. Six Flags bought it, so you know they changed the name. I'm wondering if they're ever going to change the name of Frontier City. That'll be like, I think you might have a revolt. People in this state may actually come after you for that one. It's like I won't ever call the Omniplex, whatever, the Science Museum of Oklahoma, or whatever it's supposed to be called now. That place will forever be the Omniplex. Again, you're really just trying to follow the shape that's already there with this. It's pretty simple. You don't have to get too fancy. So this is a really good place to kind of like start your sculpting journey for miniature and modeling, are filling in little gaps and making those gaps look consistent with the other stuff. It'll kind of teach you how to make those things in a sculpture, you know, without having to sit and spend hours frustrated trying to get it to look right. On a full model, this can help you kind of get your teeth cut on a smaller gap and learn some smaller techniques. It's not as impressive. It doesn't make you feel as good. Yeah, forever the Omniplex. It took me forever to get used to calling the Chesapeake Arena rather than the Fortune Right. That one's kind of weird. I just call it Thunderdome. What's it, the Paycom now? For those of you who don't know Oklahoma City and surrounding areas, we are talking about water parks and amusement parks and a convention center / arena here in the great state of Oklahoma. My sons absolutely love water parks, so I try to be a good dad, you know. Plus, this one needs to be getting his leg strength up. The one that stays here all the time. All right, now we're going to work on doing some cleanup from the top. Cool. All right. Oh. Now we're gonna take them off the base. We'll start getting some of this hair painted. Get a little drink of coffee real quick. Any luck, we'll have everything dried up by the time we get around to the other side. That's the 5. I need the 4. Here it is. Or not the 4, 3. The littlest of littles. At least it's supposed to be. Although I swear that 4 seems like it's smaller. Oh, the 5. That's what I was talking about. What am I doing? Being weird. It is smaller on the 5s though, so that's the one I wanted. Ooh! So I want to come back. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit more work done on the edges right up here next to his beard. Really careful with this. Too much can really make it look wrong. But we do want to get like the last little vestiges of that pink off the beard itself. And we need to do his eyebrows. I did not do his eyebrows yesterday. Very carefully. And stuff like this, what you're really trying to remember is where is the light going to hit these hairs? How is it going to affect it? What's it going to look like? You know, where does the light shine on the hair itself? Obviously we want this front to be a little bit more whitish because it's going to have people looking at it a little bit more. But we don't want to make it too white because we don't want to take away all the details in the hair itself. He's so heavy. And it's best to just go ahead and do these in bits and layers, like especially because of the nature of white itself and that it kind of fades on you. use that to your advantage. You know, put a light coat down, or a couple light strokes down. Let them set up, do some other stuff, come back and look at it and see, okay, does it need more white, or are we good? Because it is definitely going to fade. That is the nature of the white paint. What has been the hardest part to paint? I love the golden look of the armor. Yeah, I really think we got the armor nailed. Man, so far the hardest thing to paint on this was all that. Because that's all freehand work. So you're having to make you don't have anything to follow. It's hello Transylvania 421. A little dyslexia there. Sorry. The faces feel complicated and feel difficult, but they're not. You just kind of have to follow what's happening. Same with this stuff. This stuff's pretty easy, but when you're getting into a freehand piece, and it gets a lot more complicated because you're not working on something that's there. You're making up something. So it has its own set of issues. This guy is by far one of the more challenging models in general to paint. It's got a lot of the different challenging things to it. So, yeah, it's got this fine hair that's kind of all over the place, and it's draping over a crown, which that in of itself, is difficult. White is never easy. It doesn't matter what what it is you're dealing with. White's never an easy thing. I've gotten good at it over the years just from practicing with it. And a lot of it is just kind of in that you have to be able to accept stuff. I could never tell his armor was painted by hand. It looks so good. You should be proud of yourselves. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And then Transylvania says, do you need to know art to do it? Okay, so that art will help you a lot if you have an art background. But no, you don't need an art background to paint a lot of these things. Because it's already there for you. When you get, here, let me grab one of the parts that's not painted. So when you get a part, and that's not painted, there's a lot of parts. The idea is already there, so you don't have to do anything but add the color to it. And there's some simple, easy ways you can do that, and it'll look great. Are you going to be able to do this kind of stuff? Maybe not, but you can do this. Is pretty easy. This looks complicated, but it's not. It's a base coat and then a certain type of wash, and then you just dry brush it with another color. So it makes it a lot easier than doing something like the face, where you have to have a little bit more brush control and stuff like that. But brush control isn't something you need an art background to learn either. It's just practice. So if you watch a few videos on how to do something, and then you set yourself to task and practice it, then you're gonna have it. You're gonna be able to be successful. It'll take some time, and you definitely will have to put in, the effort to get there. But anyone can learn how to paint a model to a level that they're going to enjoy and they're going to have fun with. And the thing is, especially with this as a hobby, is that you really are just looking to have a good time with it. Now, what I'm doing is commission work for other people, but if you're looking to get into it as just a hobby, it is approachable and it is easy. How are you planning to do Sarosh? I hope I said that right. In-game looks very ethereal, like you can see through it. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. It would have been cool had they printed it in clear, because you can print in clear, but it wasn't. It was a solid piece. So I don't know yet. I got to think about it on what we want to do to get that effect. because it would be cool to figure out a way to get the effect. Absolutely, Transylvania, man. I love that answer questions. And, like, you know, you could always stop by, ask questions. A lot of, and not just from me, but, like, a lot of the other people in this community are super cool about sharing on techniques and how to improve yourself. My format is a little bit more of a daily show where we just come in and kind of, it's like a vlog for what we're doing here in the studio. But there's several people out there that do like step-by-steps how-tos, and they're really excellent artists that do an excellent job. And mine's a how-to. I mean, in a way, it's just mine's a much slower. You won't get it all sped up and start to finish with me. So there's some pros and cons to the way I do my show versus some of these other guys. But I wanted to kind of set myself out apart. And again, like I've said before, I'm not super technically inclined. So, like, making videos is that's not as easy as it looks. I'm getting ready to try to do one soon, I think, on how to paint a specific set of models I'm doing. They're over here, actually. I found these guys. They're really cool. There's old Japanese guys. They're really neat. Where can I buy good Elden Ring figures? Well, this one here came from Etsy, and it's a 3D print. So, you know, and you'll have to put it together and stuff like that. But you can buy this exact print off of Etsy. You can also buy the STL file, which is for 3D printing. If you get into that line of things. I have a 3D printer myself, which we may be using to replace his hand. He is missing a hand. Whether it was in transit from my client to me, or whether it was me, or whether it was him. Yeah, you can, thanks, Rasmus. Rasmus, that's yeah, you could buy them from me. I definitely can do all the shopping and everything for you, pre-painted and everything. But yeah, no, you could, if you were wanting to paint one yourself and kind of play with it, I definitely would recommend taking a look at getting a 3D printer and working those STL files, or, you know, just buy it off Etsy. You know, if you're not looking, there's a lot to do with 3D printers. They smell awful, for one, so be wary of that. They do take up a significant amount of space, and there's a bit of a learning curve. So, you know, beware with that. Servant Beardsley comes in with, oh yeah, I know you're talking about how you like to do some blues. A really cool figure to paint would be the Knight of Taurus from Dark Souls 1. Cool. Well, I have a Ronnie. Next is Ronnie, and she's pretty blue. And I have her laying around here somewhere in a box. I haven't opened yet at all. We're going to open it up on the show and everything. It's going to be great. Recommending not getting the same one as he is. Maybe it's only me, but I'd start to compare my work with his, which would do any good. Don't know whether that goes for you too, Transylvania. Yeah, yeah, guys, listen, I'm 45 years old. I have been painting miniatures. I started painting, oh man, I should pull my first miniature. I have it here somewhere. I started painting miniatures when I was like 11, 12. And I was making models before I was painting miniatures. So airplanes and stuff like that. I was making that kind of stuff when I was like 7, 8 years old. I started doing modeling. Let's see, Rasmussen says, having a figure that is really extremely accurate to the game. I haven't played the game, so you know I to tell on myself a little. I don't know. I haven't played this game at all. My son has. My son is a big fan of the game, so this has been pretty exciting for him. And it's kind of been fun for both of us because well, when he was here, he's a camp counselor now. Right now he's down at camp. But when he was here, I could ask him a lot of questions about the stuff, and he would tell me what I was looking at. So it's kind of nice. And it's always fun to be able to bond with your kid. I'll go ahead and conceal some of this. We are going to have to redo a little bit of this cloak again. But I think we all knew that was coming. I think it's going to be just fine. Help us hide all these little spots where we fix that hair. And I don't know, you could definitely go through and get get a model and have a good time with it. There's lots of, and there are lots of variations of this or Radon or Radigan or I just did a Melania before I did this one, which the Melania was one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite pieces I've ever done. Rasmus says, "Oh, I know that, which is why I wanted to bring that up. Just happy coincidence, if that was correct word for it." Yeah, coincidence. Oh, this is such a really fun piece. I'm actually gonna be sad when he's done. Radigan, I was glad to have Radigan gone. He was kind of a beast. I was so afraid that his hammer was on a very long spike, so I was afraid it was going to break. And so glad to have it gone. But and then we did Malekith, and Malekith was really cool. Yes, I have there should be a rotate of the done figure on my YouTube somewhere, on my shorts. I load the finished models in as shorts. And then there's the whole, I don't know, she took 12, maybe 13 episodes to do her. Might have been 15. But yeah. I was really happy to have Radigan done. Who's a beast. That my good friend is also accurate to him in the game. That's kind of what I came to understand talking with my son and my client, is that Radigan was kind of a, yeah, he is a beast. Big Beardly says Rasmus is Rennie figure pocket sized. I don't know what that means, but I'll bet you that's funny. That's funny without me knowing what it means. Isn't she like the really cute witch that everybody likes? I know she's blue. And she's like, I don't know. He's literally a beast. Yeah, it's fun. I played Dark Souls a little bit, and I played what's the Japanese one? Sekiro. Has the Rain Figure told you about? Has the Rain Figure told you about the need to kill a baleful shadow yet? Well, it's in a box, so maybe it will start talking when I open it up, similar to the, the Pandora situation and all that. Well, as soon as this one's done, we're probably going to jump straight into her, since she's all blue. I'm a huge blue guy. I love blue, so it's kind of like candy. I'm super excited about it. Alright, so now we're good to where you can't hardly even tell that we sculpted that in, which is what we wanted. Okay, now we get to come back. We're going to start working on this white again. And work on his head, and I'm going to let that other side dry while we go. And be very mindful of this beard. Too much pressure right here, and that's going to snap on us. So we're going to be very careful about how we're holding this guy. I'm just picking out individual hairs here, and I'm pulling it through. Almost just barely touching it with the brush. Because Transylvania says, because I'm still thinking about playing Elden Ring, but not sure. Just saw your Millennium figure. I totally see why you like it so much. Yeah, she was so fun. It was such a great pose. The pose was so it was, but that pose made her really top heavy. So she was. We had to glue her down to the shelf, I think, is what he ended up doing, because she's so delicate. That she was so fun. I have her on my. I think it's my new Facebook profile is that piece. Although it might still... Actually, I don't think it's my profile picture. I think it's my wallpaper or whatever it is. My profile picture should still be the Millennium Falcon. She's good. Yeah, she's super delicate. What is it with you and accidentally making more accurate statements? Yeah. I don't know. Art imitates life, and life imitates art, and then art imitates art and life. So that's probably how it works. The Malekith, if you can find that Malekith, it is nuts. The whole pose was absolutely insane. And he is that particular model was a modeler's opus to get that thing to stay, because the point, he's jumping down off of one of the pillars, and the point of contacts on him are not good. They're all just kind of barely on there. What is your favorite picture you've painted? My favorite that I've painted, and that's a hard call. Right now, it's probably that. It's probably that Melania. That Melania was really awesome. I'm hitting a place in my life where I feel like I'm getting so much better than I ever was. That each piece is becoming my favorite as I go. It is so hard, and it's so crazy with these. It's like, you know, I'm probably never going to play the game myself, but painting these has been so fun. Learning the little bits of lore and learning what these guys do and what they are. It has been such an adventure and a real pleasure for me. So thank you, Mr. Gold, for providing these sculptures and the funds of which to go ahead and get these done. So it's kind of nice to have a patron as an artist too. So it makes your life easier when you're not just painting for yourself. Because I mean, I never would have gone and pulled these guys and painted them had it not been for Mr. Gold and in this commission. And it's been a real joy. So I gotta say, yeah, Melania for right now, but it's probably gonna be this guy when he's done. So far, this is really... They've all tested my limits in different ways. But this one here feels like the opus of them. Like it's the big threading of it all. This is bringing a lot of the techniques that I've used and all those other pieces together to give a newer version of myself, a better version of the music, if you will. Do you look at a reference before painting? Oh yeah, we spend a lot of time in the building phase when we very first get started, pulling up references, and we'll look at them and things like that. So when you go back and you see like the very first shows, the very first parts of like this guy, you'll see us looking through I'll go look through the internet and I'll find the different source material that I want to use, and then I'll start kind of going from there. Sir Beardsley says, "Oh yeah, did you enjoy that meme?" Yeah, that was pretty good with the dad and the cat. That's a good one. I should post that to the community thread. I got to get better at the posting and stuff. I'm trying. I just, guys, I'm old. Not that old, but I grew up in I spent all my time in a kitchen, so now I'm kind of like, I'm trying to learn a new thing. So definitely call me out, for real. Like, we had a guy on yesterday, called me out because my sign was doubled. I appreciate that guy so much. So definitely, like, if you're like, hey, post that. I definitely need that holler back. Hey, this is good. Do more of that. Do more of this. You know, it's so instrumental. Especially for me that doesn't, like I said, I don't know much about YouTube except for watching it. I've learned a lot in the last couple of months I've been doing this. And it's getting better, but I definitely like the feedback. I love having these chats. Thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it. Mr. Transylvania, Rasmus, and of course the ever famous Mr. McBeardsley. And my old friend Dave. Mr. Cunningham is usually the first on. He likes to drop on and say hello. He's an old friend of mine from when we were all young men. We're over time, but dang it, I'm finishing this head. I'm done playing games with it. I want it done. I want to move on to that lion. I got to figure out what we're going to do there. Saros, is that right? Saros? I know you guys said it. Where was it? It's up here. Saros, I think. Saros. That sounds like a lion name. Like I said, don't worry too much if you make a few mistakes with hair and stuff like that. People, and especially white, because white will fade. So don't worry too much about these very first strokes. Try to get them on the tops of those hairs the best you can. But you're going to have a chance to kind of come back and highlight some more areas that'll help separate it out even more. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to... I'm going to have to buy some silly putty so I can show you guys how to do the masking. I haven't done that yet. I usually don't care anymore. I usually just repaint. But masking is kind of a fun trick. And it can really help you with making sure you don't overpaint in places where you really don't want to overpaint. Like, we could mask this whole cloak, and that way it never gets anything on it. We're almost to the point where we're done with him, so we're moving on to Sarosh. I gotta make sure that's how we say that. Oh yeah. You can still kind of see that crack we had in his neck where we did all that. What price do figures sell for? It depends. A lot of it has to do with the size. Like, this guy is going to be a lot more expensive than, say, something this size. Like, this is a much smaller, as you can see, this is a much smaller deal. So, like, something like this is not going to cost you nearly as much as something like this. So my client pays this hefty sum to have it tricked out this hard, because this is me pushing my envelope, going as far as I can, which is what he wanted, and he throws the money at it, and I just paint the stuff. So what he's paying for is like a step above. If it weren't for him having several of these projects, Because, you know, by the time this is done, I'm going to have painted 10 of these figures. And you got to think of each one of them selling for several ducats a piece. You know, it's a great client. So I'm going to put everything I can into these pieces. I mean, I put a lot into these other things too, but this doesn't have to have any like resculpting or rehashing or anything like that. That's just, you know, I can just paint this, throw the base on it, and out the door. Much cheaper than something like this. Now, quotes are always individual. It just kind of depends on what all a client wants me to do, and how big the figure is. I have like grades, so I have like tabletop ready, where it's just like, you know, good enough to throw on the battlefield if you wanted to play a game with it. And then I have like a step over that, which we're gonna go a little harder. We're gonna add more washes. We're gonna add more effects and highlights and maybe some lighting stuff. And then we're gonna get into the really crazy stuff where we're like custom basing and like custom sculpting. If we're doing all that work, then, you know, and this kind of a freehand like this. This is the creme de la creme. This is the highest end you can get it at. And you want to start taking, you need me to take down the price of it, then like this stuff goes away and it just becomes a blue cloak. We don't worry so much about the crack here. You know, there's levels. So I try to work with a client to get them what they want at the price that's going to work for them. What the best thing they can get for the price they want, they can pay, is my goal. Does that always happen? No. But it's noble, right? It's a noble goal. Like I said, I love white because you can come sometimes, if you overdo it a little bit, you can just come through and wipe it out of there. You can always use a little water too. And pull that right out, no problem. Looking so great. I'm very happy with this piece. A little bit. We'll be gluing his shoulder on today, maybe the next show, maybe on Monday, or maybe I'll just glue it on there. It's not like you guys need to watch me glue stuff, right? That's not that exciting. I can just come back with a real gentle, small dry brush. We don't want the big guy. We just need this old napper. Yeah, I hopefully that answered your question a little bit. I know that's not like the best answer in the world, but it is very dependent on what exactly somebody wants, because everybody's needs are different, you know. A lot of my normal clients, Mr. Gold is a special client. A lot of my other clients, they just want them, you know, playable, because it's for games or whatever. And so as long as it's playable, then we're good. This is a work of art. This is something that this gentleman is putting it on display at his home, where people will come and see it, and it is, to him, it is a work of art. So of course, with that kind of situation, he wants the higher end craziness. He wants to pay the big bucks, so to speak. Very gently here. Very gently. A little bit of dry brush. Especially back here in this back of this mat. Did we finally run the music out? We did. just a few more spots I really want to kind of address here. Again, with Saros sitting on top of him, you're really not going to see a lot of this hair. So what we've got to do is just make it look close enough at a glance so that when people look at it, their brain is tricked into seeing what we want them to see. Because that's what we're trying. That's really what art is just trying to trick the eye. We're trying to simulate nature. Most of your paint pigments don't even exist in reality. Like, a lot of them are just, they're chemical paint colors that are made, but they look like stuff in reality. Oop. Let's see if I can clean that real quick. Get off there. Get off there. Whew, okay. All right. A little bit of a mix of those two. Cover that up. All right. Because that Saros is just going to sit right here. Oop, right here. So, that feels great. Feels good. Okay. Here we go. Let's get his other pauldron on. Looking absolutely studly. And all that hair looks great. It all comes down to the edge. We don't have anything where it's sitting with a big gap, which is what we're trying to get accomplished today. So all that is done, which means, yeah, we get to move on to the lion next, which has been my favorite. And that'll give me some more time to delay on his arms while I figure out what I'm going to do with that arm that's missing. And, anyway, we'll figure it out. Oh, no, we're terribly worried about it. Oh, so, before I get off the show, I forgot to do this yesterday. I'm going to do this today. But, this is our 250 goal. If we get to 250 subscribers, we're going to paint this guy up. He's an old school Warhammer piece from, like, the 80s. He's like a super old, all metal chunk of metal here. So if you want to see me give myself some carpal tunnel holding on to this guy, then definitely do all that. There we go. Now I'm back. I'm getting better at all these things. So anyway, if you want to see me paint this guy here, then help me get to 250. We're going to do that. And then when we get to 500, I've got a car I'm going to build. It's like an old Chevy, and we're going to turn it into like an Orc Mag Max kind of thing. So that'll be really cool. I think that's all I got. I'm going to go and take care of a few little chores. I got to go down to the courthouse later on today and handle some business down there. And I got to go get some meds, and, you know, I have a lot of things I got to do. It has been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you guys, though. Thank you so much for all the chat, all the compliments, the folks that dropped by to view, all the likes, all the subscribes, all the things. It's so amazing. I didn't ever think something like this was going to be something I was ever going to be doing. But let's see. Oh, I missed a whole bunch of chats. Okay, thanks for saying nothing like a little bonus time. Cozy Friday stream. Yeah, thanks. I just put the setting to 1070p and the detail on the figure is so good. Oh, yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And have a great day. So, anyway, we're going to talk to you guys later. I'm gonna sign off here. And we'll see you on Monday. Monday, same time. We'll be back. Anyway, that's all we got. Have a great one. Thanks. Bye.